Today's story is about the unseen hand. Story begins from one bright morning. Maya, a curious young girl, sat beside her father in their peaceful garden, gazing at the sky. The gentle breeze rustled the leaves as the sun bathed the world in its warm glow. Maya had been pondering something deeply and finally spoke, her voice full of innocence and wonder. "Papa," she asked, "does God really exist? Or is it just something people believe to comfort themselves?" Her father, an elderly man with deep wisdom in his eyes, paused for a moment, then smiled gently. He knew this day would come when his daughter would seek answers to the mysteries of life. "Maya, my dear," he began softly, "let me tell you a story." Maya leaned forward, her eyes wide with anticipation. "Once upon a time," her father continued, "there was a beautiful river that flowed through a village. The villagers loved the river because it gave them water to drink, crops to grow, and beauty to admire. But one day, a terrible drought struck the land, and the river dried up. The villagers wondered, why has the river stopped flowing? What happened to its life-giving water?" Maya's brow furrowed in thought. "That must have been terrible, Papa." "Yes, it was," her father replied. But the wise elder of the village explained something to them. He said, "The river did not stop because it wanted to. Something beyond our understanding has caused it to dry up. Perhaps the rain clouds have moved far away, or perhaps a greater force is testing us." Maya's eyes sparkled with curiosity. "So, what did the villagers do?" "The villagers waited and prayed," her father said, "for many days. They didn't know what was causing the drought, but they trusted that the river would return when it was meant to. And one day, the rain came. Slowly at first, then pouring in abundance. The river began to flow again, bringing life and joy to the village. The villagers realized that even though they couldn't see the forces that controlled the river, it had never truly stopped existing." Maya listened quietly, then asked, "So, what does this story have to do with God?" Her father smiled warmly, his eyes filled with love. "Everything, my dear. The river represents God's will. Just like we cannot always see or understand the source of the river's flow, we cannot always understand the workings of the world or why certain things happen, but we must trust that everything in life happens for a reason, even when we don't understand it. Whether we see it or not, God's hand is always at work, guiding the river of our lives." Maya sat in silence for a moment, reflecting on her father's words. The gentle breeze seemed to whisper a truth she had always felt, but never fully understood. "So, even when things are hard or confusing, we should trust that God is still there?" she asked softly. Her father nodded, his voice full of wisdom. "Exactly. Sometimes we may not see the bigger picture, but everything happens because of God's will. And just like the river, God's presence is always flowing through our lives, even when we don't see it. We just need to trust, have faith, and believe that everything is part of a greater plan." Maya smiled, feeling a deep sense of peace in her heart. She looked up at the sky and whispered to herself, "I believe." And from that day on, Maya carried with her the understanding that, even in the moments of doubt, God's existence is a quiet, steady force that flows through everything, guiding the world with love and purpose. If you like anything in this video, please like, share with your loved ones, and subscribe to JP Stories for more such videos. Thanks for watching.